In this video, I'm going to show you how to install this Breeze Stop window air conditioner insulation. It is going to look a little something like this. It goes around the air conditioner and blocks up any voids that you have to stop the warm air from coming in and the cool air from going out, and stopping bugs, mosquitoes, bees, etc. And this air conditioner is awesome. I love it, but it does have some weak spots. All along the edges here, you can see daylight. When you put an air conditioner in, there is no screen, so bugs and everything else can come right in here. Along the top here, and even where these louvers are, you can see there's a nice spot for all that stuff to happen. So I'm gonna take off my little tape fix here, and I am going to use this to block up all this stuff. Let's start by opening this up, seeing what we got. We have instructions. We have the two panels that go on the side. It's nice that they are white instead of just foam like this. And then you have one folds out and that goes on the top. Just as a note, this kit in particular will work for most window ACs in a window that is 36 inches or less. You can see this is gonna work. So before you cut anything, just make sure it's gonna work. And you can also see this is gonna help with keeping the daylight out, because this is obviously pretty bright. So that's another nice thing about these. We're gonna start with the side panels here. You can either hold them up like this. The flap side right here goes towards the AC, so you can hold it up like this and mark against this, and you're gonna want to cut these a little strong because you want to kind of squish the foam in there. Almost fits just like that, but I am going to trim it a little bit so it's not so much of a mess. So I'm going to measure this to the air conditioner is 8 3/4 right there. Make sure it's the same down here. Little more right there. So I'm gonna go about 9 1/8. I'll give it just a little bit more. And then measuring from the flap side to the foam, I can mark this 9 1/8. Same thing on the other end, 9 1/8. You could use a straight edge, but I'm gonna use the other panel and mark it like this. And then you can use a razor knife, but I'm going to try some scissors, because that might be a more common thing that you'll have in your drawer. And that works pretty good. So I'm just going to cut this. I think the difference between scissors and a utility knife, though, that these edges are a little rough. So if you use a utility knife, you should have a nice straight cut. Not jagged, in other words. Just make sure it's a nice sharp utility knife. And I'll finish it with the scissors. So we'll test fit this. Go in just like that. Nice tight fit. Probably even trim it. You definitely want to cut it long rather than shorter, because obviously you can't add to the foam, but you can trim it. So this works pretty good. First cut it with the razor knife through this kind of pad, and then finish it with scissors. That's better. So I'm just going to make sure this is nice and tight around the cord here. So pull it down a little bit. Might have to tuck in some of this extra foam here, back here, around that cord. And as long as we're good, I can take my scissors and mark it right here. Just cut this flap at the top of the air conditioner. And then I'm going to want to cut this right here and have a nice straight line across here. And you could either use a level, or you could do something like this. Use the top piece of foam just to make a nice straight line. Or you could measure. Take that back out and we can cut it. This in. Now at this point, if you know you're good up top here, you can peel this right here. This is peel and stick, but this is towards the end of the season, so I'm just gonna kind of tuck it in there, and I think you'll still be able to reuse it if you take your air conditioner out at the end of the season, because you could just either peel it off of the AC and use tape, or just tuck it in like this. It should be fine. I'll leave that up to you. That side's good, and just do the same thing on the other side. Oh, it's not gonna be perfectly straight. It's okay. Now for the top piece, I'll hold it like this. I'm gonna hold it so that the smaller flap is down and the larger one is up. Hold it tight to the left side this way, and I can mark this over here. Again, making it a little long. And we'll set it back up here. Basically, it's going to sit, the foam is going to sit on top of that foam. This small piece, this small flap, will attach here, but you want to cut it right here so that you can attach it. Same thing on this side. And then up top, this is going to fold down and just kind of cover that foam, but as you can see, I have this little window stop here, so you may have to cut around stuff like that. I'm only going to cut the flap around that. So I'll just line it up and cut like that, this, so that when I fold it over, it'll go around that. Same thing on the other side. And then I'm going to peel off this right here. And this, you just fold over the foam just to kind of make it look nice. I'm sure it'll stiffen it up as well. Once it's in place like that, you want to squeeze this foam and make sure that adhesive activates. It works with pressure, according to the instructions that I'm following. And now I think you could install this in a couple different ways. I think you could probably do it like this, and then depending on where your air conditioner comes out, you can attach this flap to it if you wanted to. In my case, it is pretty far back. So what I'm gonna do is just take this piece of foam and kind of fold it like this, and then have these flaps down here, tuck it in like that. And since I do want this to be able to stay here, I am going to attach it to this. Peel this off. Foam down, stick it to that. Same thing on this side. Push down a little bit, squeeze that foam, tuck it in, make sure we're good all around. That'll block all that light out and stop insects from coming in, warm air, everything else. Like I said, you can attach this to your AC. I just don't want to have to peel that off and make a mess at the end of the season when I take the air conditioner out. And alternatively to using the peel and stick here, you could probably just use some kind of masking tape or weather tape, whatever you want to do, and try and reuse it. Put your air conditioner in the same location next year and just pop this in. Because at this point, this is kind of all one piece. That'll be good. I'll just make sure I install the air conditioner in the same location next year, and I'll be good to go. So, if you needed to do something like this, I hope the video helped. Thanks for watching.